What's up guys, Eli BigMac here, ready to spin some laps on my ranch in MX Bikes. Today we've got the ET Ranch, Eli Tomac's place, created by Rubes here. We have got, so there is a outdoors track and a supercross track. There is a groomed version and there is a normal version, so a smooth version, and there is a high quality version and a low quality version. So kind of meeting everybody's needs in all real honesty. I have watched, I think, a singular video of real life riding around Tomac's Ranch, and I believe that's when he rode the two-stroke for that video. And I mean, track looks very, very fast, very wide open, and it's been a hot minute since we've seen a Rubes creation grace our screens, basically. Also very excited that it's not just the outdoors as well. We got a little bit of supercross action going on here. Rubes, again, one of them guys that prefers a bit more of like a one-to-one kind of scaling on his SX track, so I'm very excited to try this out when I get the chance. The outdoors track, it just looks really, really quick. And whilst this is the normal version rather than groomed, in terms of like roughness and such, there's still a lot of like flat corners going on. But if Rubes' previous work is something to go by, the way that he builds his tracks with the actual soil itself, they erode really, really well. If nobody's had the pleasure in the past of playing RSK Sandbox, and you'll have no idea what I'm talking about, but I imagine if you load this up in testing, run maybe 10 laps or so on 0.5 to 1 erode, you'll get some pretty damn good ruts going on. So we're going to spin some laps around here today, hopefully do it some good justice. I'm rocking the KTM 450. I've not done what I've done on the Ryan Villapoto compound and rode his version of the bike, which can be rocking the KTM again today. Nice and chromy and pink and blues and purples and all sorts going on. So without further ado, let's see how it rides. I like how patient Rubes is when he comes to releasing tracks. He makes sure that every little extra detail is as it should be, like even down to these little bits of rocks that are going on here as well. I remember seeing those in Eli's two-stroke video as well. A little water tower going down onto the old Red Rider MXB mods. Well, does it usually have MXB mods on it? I don't know. But Rubes, I believe, he's still part of the MXB mods team. Right, which direction are we going? I believe that we go this way, as we are. I just had a look down at the track map on Max HUD there on the right hand side, and the whole shot line, which is what I believe the yellow line is on it. The arrow is going in this direction. There you go. It only takes you 3,500 to 4,000 hours to realise what that all means. So let's see how this goes. See where the finish line is. See what average lap time's looking like as well. So we've got a finish line there, just with a little flag in it. Nothing too crazy. Just lets you know I jumped way too far there and landed in some of the rough stuff. So there you go, the ungroomed version already biting me in the bum a little bit. This goes to the left by looks it on the map. Then we got a big floaty tabletop. Yeet. Downside that very nicely for the first attempt. I checked up a little bit, but not too much. And we've got a little floater, little single up and over. Oh, you can send that as far as you like. Okay. Noted for next lap. Up on the pegs. Start out wide, cut to the inside. Oh, completely missed that rut. It's fine. We'll just try and track around the outside next to it. Little tabletop there as well. We're getting some speed going on now. We're going to have to scrub some speed off this tabletop, I think. Lovely. And this is another tabletop. No, more of a double that time. Or like a double turned into a table-ish kind of landing. And so this track, so far, the jumps and stuff on this track compared to, say, like the RV compound, they're a lot more like tame for a pro rider than I expected. Like just in terms of him having like a bunch of tabletops everywhere rather than these like huge doubles. But then I suppose if you are a pro level rider and you're like the distance and the height and stuff of the jumps is no problem for you anyway, and you're going to clear it, you may as well, I mean, if you've got the dirt available, you may as well fill them in and turn them into tabletops. Because then let's say one lap something does just go a tiny bit wrong. You've got that safety net where you're not going to wad yourself because you've just framed the life out of an absolutely huge double, and you can just bounce off the top of a tabletop instead. So I suppose, in a way, it's probably a smarter idea for the big guys to make some of the jumps a bit more straightforward, a bit more easy. Is that the same bump? No, it's not. I was about to say, is that the same bump that caught me out last lap? But no, it's a completely separate one there. I need to be a bit more careful. I think I'm trying to turn too much over these here braking bumps. Oh, I've gone too far again. A little bit of a bounce. Suspension-wise, I am rocking my normal outdoor suspension. So it's actually quite interesting to see how different track craters, different bumps, different jumps just affects how the bike handles everything overall. Because the setup that I've got on right now, which was called, I think it's Grind V2 in my setup video, or like the setup video where I released all of my setups I've been using. This one, it feels nice for the aerial tracks. And then we come on to ones like this. Maybe, I think the braking bumps are... They're smaller, so they're shorter in height, but the face of the braking bumps are a little bit steeper, so you get more of a kick out of them. Whereas my suspension's made for more like long rolly braking bumps, like the Stone Rider kind of ones that we've been getting at the moment. So it's nice, mixing things up a little bit. And it's when you think you got things figured out, because I even run this setup on I run this setup on Supercross now, when I can't be bothered switching things up and changing as well. So I'm interested to see how it handles the one-to-one Supercross scaling that Rubes usually makes. So we go through these rollers, try and pick the front wheel up, jump over these few little braking bumps into the corner, get on the power, try and apex this corner as best as you can. Little floaty step up doubly kind of thing here. And then we jump up round to the left. Ooh, on the power. The game is always really funky when it comes to slightly off camber downhills when you're accelerating. It's like the bike starts twitching and doing all sorts of things going sideways. It's a bit wild. Sometimes like, you get used to it after a while. The only advice I can give you is if you do struggle with things like that is, oh, that front end, Jesus, is try and lift the front end off the ground. So basically like wheelie around and down the hill rather than taking it normally, because I think the traction between the rear end and the front end fighting each other and twitching and the rider trying to keep himself upright. Whereas if you eliminate one of them factors, whereas you just remove a wheel from the ground, it's usually not too bad. It's usually absolutely fine. So lap time there, we was 1 minute 40, even still with some mistakes. So I reckon, or the fast boys, let's reckon down to like 33s, 32s, something disgusting like that. Let's try and get a smooth lap going. So we apex that nicely, rail that rut better than last time. Actually took it that time rather than missing it. Get on the power all the way down here. We're just going to send this wide open and just try and scrub as hard as we can. To be fair, with the OEM suspension, oh god damn it, you could probably get away with just sending that to flat. Yeah, probably haven't even got to downside anything, honestly. And then we go round to the left, back down here, apex this. I'm going to try something other than the inside. Let's try out. Oh, nope. It's just as rough going into the outsides as on the inside, noted. So, definitely not a track where, like, it's very deceiving actually. It looks like you can just hold it wicked everywhere, but the way that he's built these braking bumps into the corners, it really does fight against you. So we jump over that sharp one, jump into this one, and stay up on the pegs, try and give my bike the best chance of not dragging the bars as possible. Up, step up here, and then yeah, as we come round here to the left, you can kind of drift out wide to be fair to eliminate it, but you saw there was two little twitches in that sequence. And then it's gentle up on the pegs around this rut. We're going to try and hug this as tight as we can. There's no need to drift out super wide there, unless you want to triple into this section, to be fair. Tripling might be okay. And then here, slow down that one specific bump. We're going to use it more as a jump rather than a bump. Try and hop, skip, and jump our way through these sections. Little floaty tabletop. Come out wide so we can miss the main braking bump there. That was much nicer, because then you've opened up the right hander for yourself. You can carry more speed around it. Stretch this bad boy out. And then we'll scrub the table as hard as we can here. Downside it nicely. Hug this as tight as you can as well. The back end coming out on me. Then we can just send this as far as you want. Try and downside one of the braking bumps. Now we're going to come from far left. Cut across to the right. Catch the end of that rut. Slot into this rut. Nicely done. Yeah, a little jump out here. I need to remember this goes slightly left at the end of this straight, because I did not do that last time. Scrubbing this bad boy now left slightly here, so we'll go this angle. Lovely. Up to the top of the hill. Try and apex this as nice as we can. Get into this rut. Drift out wide at the bottom. And try a middle rut this time. Nice and patient over the bumps. Oh, middle rut actually kind of leads to the outside anyway. So I think the outside that I was trying to take the previous lap would have basically disappeared and led into each other. So that's not too shabby. We're going to jump over that. Missed my usual inside, but we're going to go around the outside. The only issue is it then gives you a really tight entrance into this left-hander, so you're not having as much speed through there as you possibly could do. Stepping up the hill again, drift out wide. I actually don't mind banking off of that berm in the corner. It straightens you up for the hill, so you're not turning whilst going down it, and you don't get all of the weird twisty bits. Or the back end's fighting me. I'm going to scrub into here because I'm just going double step over. Patient. Off that one braking bump. Don't want the front end to step out. Try and hit that bump as straight as you can do as well. If you turn a little bit, that's when the bars will kick out and the bike will step out from underneath you. So 137.3. I reckon you're going to be looking at like, maybe not 33s then, maybe like 35s. Although, maybe still 33s. The top boys in this game are pretty disgusting. They'll still run some absolute burners compared to everyone else. And there's definitely one or two situations where you saw my back end slid out. I mean, I'm gaining a little bit of time right here. I was 0.5 down into the corner. I've gained half a second by the time we're over that. Or over that single. And, oh, I missed it. It's going to be a tricky track, I think, to go really, really fast on. Just because of how the braking bumps are set up. Like, you do have to think about what you're doing. Visually, basically what you expect from a Rubes track. Like, the textures and the norms have been done very, very well. The foliage actually looks very, like, realistic as well as I'm going past here. Do I have... Moment of truth. Do not have 3D grass turned on. This could... Hang on, this... Oh, there you go. He does have 3D grass in here. My apologies that it's taken this long. Not much, to be fair. It's not like... in the, let's call it the infield of the track. It's not in the middle. It's just little bits here and there dotted around the outside. It's just a tiny bit extra added on. But yeah, very, very small amount. Probably not even that noticeable, to be honest, if I hadn't have turned it on. About the same. Go all around to the right, tiptoe on top of the pegs. I'll finish this lap off, and then we'll meander our way over to the Supercross track, which I'm quite excited about. Very, very intrigued to give it a go. Oh, careful. See, we've got a little water puddle over on the right-hand side. Get slotted into this inside rut nicely. Can you, like, drift out? Let me try tripling into here, because I've been doubling every time. Is it faster? There you go. What, little tyre tap, maybe? Oh, little wheelie up there. Oh. Actually, hitting that braking bump faster that time felt better in a weird way. Okay, interesting. So we're now going to beeline. I believe it was this general direction that the Supercross track was in. It was indeed. Lovely stuff. Right, which way are we going here? We are... I'm going to look for the finish line first. So the finish line takeoff is there. The downside is right here. So we're going this way. You can already tell the size of the jump is on the smaller side. We've been able to just triple with that much run up. Berms aren't built that high either as well, so it means that you can't get like just fully cranked over at a disgusting lean angle and rail the corners, which I know is something Rubes hates about this game, is how much traction and lean angle we can get on these bikes. Very, very unrealistic, but you know, the game is the game. That's what we have to play with. It's what we have to learn. So I'm guessing we ought to go up here, round to the left maybe. Yeah, a little roller. We've got triple, probably. Oh, maybe triple quad double. Well, you might even be able to quad into the section if you're feeling a little bit brave, if you drift wider. And then, ooh, okay. Is that... And then we've got super, yeah, okay, Supercross triple after that. So, we either try and flop it out on the table and see if we can 5 that whole thing, which I am calling a 5. I'm not calling it a quad because there's a tabletop in there and I consider that as 2, even though a lot of you consider it as 1. Or we can just check up and go on-off. Now, I think we go for the big wiener version first of all and try and send it. Issue is, again, because this berm is on the smaller side. Go on, get it! Ah, no! To be fair, I think that corner is probably as good as I'm going to hit that. So maybe not being able to fire that unless you get a little bit of a road going on, maybe. We shall see. But yeah, this the scale on this is much smaller, as I would expect from a Rubes track. Let's go on, off. There's not really much point to this berm here, since there's nothing like fast to swing out of afterwards. So I'm just going to hug the inside, hit that double. Whoops are quite straightforwards. They look a little bit peaky and a little bit scary, but actually when you get into them, they are A-okay. Went over that corner by mistake there. Let's get back into a rhythm. The thing that is nice about this sort of scaling is you are able to get back into rhythm fairly easily when you mess up. So right, let's do the silly thing now. Let's see how far we can go. Quad. Oh, you can do that in 2 jumps, 100%. I need to do that again. Right, I just need to time my wheelie over that first little roller better, and I should be able to go quad and then maybe like 5 out the whole thing. Quad. Oh, back end got hung up again. God, that's going to be so tempting, so hard to do. You have to get the perfect timing of wheeling and scrubbing over that little single here on the left at the start of that section to get as much forwards momentum as possible. So actually, quite a techie thing to do. The wheeling over it's absolutely fine. Just lean forwards, then lean back a little bit, and it's a-okay. But yeah, to send that whole section in 2 jumps would be very, very very epic, very massive. Yeah. Oh, I keep over jumping this double. Do, and then don't go over this berm this time. Lovely. And just a little triple. I reckon I could go quad double through there as well with a really smooth run up. Here we go. This is the line. This is the line that we're all waiting for. You try in 4th gear rather than 3rd. No. Oh, actually, no, it was all right. Actually, overjumped here a little bit that time. Oh, I was in the wrong gear. I shifted up in the... I swear I was in 5th when I took off that. I should have been in 3rd or 4th at, like, maximum. So, the jumping we can do. It's all about seeing if we can time the jump on the way out. I'm just scumbagging. I love when I take these tracks that people spent so much time on and end up breaking them in a little bit in a way. Like, there was some lines. What track was it? It might have been... Oh, God, there's a track recently that I'd done that I sent an absolute big boy line that I don't think was intended. It might have been Milton Downs, like JB's recent track. I think it was. There was just an extra jump. I hit a big yah yeet. And Lost Horizon as well. There was a massive send from one jump to another. But yeah, you can go quad, double, lovely, smooth on the power down to the right. We'll give it another shot. I'll try 3rd gear rather than 4th. That felt nice. Oh no. My momentum that time, instead of going forwards in the air, I went up more, so I didn't scrub my speed off to go forwards. So because of that, when I landed, I just had a lot less speed than if I would have hit it better, essentially, which is why I wasn't able to get that jump all the way out into the corner. So there's a lot of moving parts to it when you do stuff like that, but oh well, it's absolutely fine. We are here for a little bit of fun. We're not here to try and try out these tracks too much just upon release. Usually when I do these sorts of videos and I'm doing raw reactions and raw impressions and riding, I'll come back to it the next day, and within 10 laps, I'm running lap times at like 5 seconds quicker than what I did normally run. I know for when I was covering the MTF facility, my lap time, I've done a hot lap at the end of the end of the video, and it was like a 2:04. And then I went back to it later that night, and within 10 laps, I had a 2:02. So I shaved a bunch of time off. But yeah, no, really good stuff. Like, very fun, very chill as well. And I feel like it can probably apply to all sorts of levels of riders. Like, this Supercross track isn't difficult by any means. I'm crashing a lot because I'm trying to send like the most unrealistic huge lines. If you're just riding the Supercross track normally and you're like tripling your way through the rhythms instead of trying to like 5, then yeah, you'll have an absolutely fine time around here. But it does also open up the door for the faster riders to try and break it a little bit and trying to go as fast as they possibly can. I mean, a bunch of you forget that Rubes back in the day was a Supercross champion. He beat Dad Shoes for a Supercross championship in 2021, I think it was. So yeah, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he wants from a realism standpoint. And yeah, the outdoor track as well, very, very fast, very flowy, a little bit technical, more technical than I thought when I was watching the when I was flying around it in the camera before starting the video. But no, still very, very fun nonetheless. And I think I saw Rube say it's so where this place is located. It's quite an empty place in general in terms of landscape. Like, there's not much going on. It's just quite barren. So he said it's quite difficult to make it look full. So if you're thinking like, oh, there's not much going on, it looks like the environment looks a little bit incomplete, this kind of is what it's like in real life, to my knowledge. So you can't really ask for much more than that. And in terms of just a replica and a fun track, I think he's done a pretty damn good job. So yeah, that'll do it from me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, all that lovely stuff. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.
Lynn's in the zone, never backing down. Riding MX bikes, he's the talk of the town. 2022 champ with the YouTube crown. His game is tight, no signs of slowing down. Late nights, bright lights, he's chasing that fame in the digital arena. Writing his name, she's a 10 out of 10. Supporting his lane, hairline might receive, but his passion's the same.